Hi again. Hi, everybody.
What it do?
What it do? I did promise my sister one thing. I have to shout her out for this awesome little vintage tee she got me. Thank you, Alexis. I can't believe you're making me do this. This week, we're going to talk about how the people around you affect you, whether it be good or bad. We're going to focus on the good because we want to help you guys surround yourself with positive people, positive reinforcements to help you get to where you want to go.
Not in a self-help book way.
No, because Tony hates that.
I hate that. A thing that I usually tell people is to get around people who are doing what you want to do. Mm-hmm. It's really that easy. Mm-hmm. But I think the problem that a lot of people have is their ego. Because it's really easy to get around stuff that you want to be around if you're willing to tone your ego down. And
put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there. So both of us got into doing what we're doing by doing a lot of free shit. That just is what it is. And built from there.
The free thing always gets me. Tony and I had done years and years of free stuff. Did we complain? Sure we did. To ourselves, amongst each other. Were we that outwardly complaining? No. You want to know why? We were both being told, why are you doing this? What are you doing? Why are you working in this job? What do you mean you're working all these hours and you're only getting paid $12 an hour, but on salary, and you're working literally 24 hours a day? Why are you doing that? Wait, you're doing this, but you're not getting paid for it? Why? People literally thought we were dumb. But here's some inside information. We weren't. You want to know what we were doing?
What were we doing?
We were creating leverage. That's what we were doing.
Speak on it.
Listen, when you're just starting, or when you're just getting into something, you don't have any experience, you don't have anything to really offer besides your free work, that's what you need to be able to offer. If I want to get in front of a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, I'm not going to say, hey, look at me, I'm fresh out of college, I just moved across the country, give me a job, please, I have no experience, and I want to be paid at least $40,000 a year. Hire me. Crickets. No one hired me. Nobody. But the moment that I approached somebody and said, hey, I do video, and I would like to do this for you, you are then creating leverage for yourself. You are providing that person a service, and in turn, making yourself an asset. Now, that person, that CEO, will actually listen to you, take a meeting with you, read your email, because they know who you are, because you provided something for them.
And most people who are in that position have probably paid some dues and done some free stuff themselves. Yeah. And they're going to admire that in you, that you have the ability to humble yourself and hustle like that in order to get where you want to go. And because they like that in you, they'll bring you around other people like them.
Exactly.
Who will give you more opportunities. And before you know it, all of a sudden you'll be getting paid for stuff.
Oh my goodness.
And it might take longer than you might think, but you just need to chill out and keep moving. It's also a little bit of faith and a little bit of knowing your value once you have built that leverage. Mm-hmm. But there's too many people out here coming out the gate that don't really bring nothing to the table, don't have nothing to show that they bring something to the table, and they think somebody owes them something.
Entitlement.
Don't nobody owe you jack, dog.
Disease.
Nothing.
Entitlement is a disease. It truly is. As a small business owner myself, I have definitely come across the younger generation who I've hired to be a PA or any other position within my company. And the audacity of some people when it comes to pay or what they're owed is mind-boggling to me. People that come to me and ask me, I have a couple people right now who will hit me up and say, Angel, do you have anything going on? How can I help? How can I help is more valuable to me than anything else. If you show me that you have that enthusiasm and that willingness to learn and absorb and be willing to put in the work and put in the hours, I'm paying attention to you. You know what I'm not paying attention to?
What?
The people that will nickel and dime me over $1 per hour. Like, I won't. And I'll remember that. I'll remember that you don't understand the concept of investing in yourself.
And it's like very small picture to think that way too, because
Absolutely.
if you come on a job that say it's an 8-hour job and you gonna nickel and dime me for $1, you literally just nickel and dime me for $8. Mm-hmm. And now next time an opportunity comes up, I might not look at you because you're petty. So you won that small battle for that $8. Good for you, but you lost out on potential thousands of dollars down the line. And there's so many people out here that are used to making like an hourly wage and used to talking about money on that level. They are trained not to see the big picture. So that's why there's so many people out here that are really good at being employees. And there's nothing wrong with being an employee, but the way to kind of have more control, more leverage over your situation is to think like the boss, to think like the CEO, to see yourself as a business rather than an employee, because employees worry about $1 an hour. So if you are trying to just work for that extra $1 an hour, hey, do you? You know what I mean? And at least in our line of work, where it's kind of like a gig at a time, like to be petty over $8, $10, $20 is really stupid at the end of the day. Like, you are wasting your time and you're being small. Mm-hmm. And people that run like Angel does or run like I do, do not have time for small-minded bullshit. Mm-mm. We just don't.
We really do not. Going back to what you said about small picture, big picture, that is why Tony and I work so well together, is because we both see the big picture. We both have put in the hours. We have worked the jobs, and we'll still do to a degree, that are only going to pay us like $100 here, $100 there. I've had people that I used to work with that we were getting paid here and there. We might get paid like $50, $100, whatever. So if you are only looking at something short term, that you're like, I can't with 50. I can't with $100. That was a few years ago. Now we're definitely getting $1,000, you know? We've upped our value. We've upped what we're getting. But people that only are short-sighted, they don't see past that. They only see, well, right now I'm only getting paid this. It's not even worth it. And then they give up. People give up like way too easily. A lot of the reasons why people give up so easily is that they're not exposed to it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was about to say. When I was lucky enough to get around early in the game, people who were entrepreneur-minded, people who didn't think like it was a job. They thought of it like it was a project. And so they looked at everything as like a way to make money, and they looked at stuff as a way to progress. It wasn't a job. It was like a project, a stepping stone, a thing to do. So now I've been around people who are CEOs, people who are rich, and I'm looking at how rich people move and how they operate and how they move money. And it's very different from how somebody who has like a high paying job works. Like somebody who makes $100,000 a year, to some people that's a lot of money. But if you're around somebody who makes $2 million a year, they're operating in a different echelon of how they function. Somebody who makes $10 million a year is operating in a different level, and the way they see things is just totally different. So being around people that move like that changes your whole outlook on the world. Like everything you see in front of you, from the clothes you have on, like what they're worth, to where you live, if you buy a car or lease a car, like all these type of things change once you get around people who know how to make a lot of money. Not just like, oh, you live decent. It's two different things. Mm-hmm. And it was a thing that I was never exposed to until I came to LA, because people with a lot of money live out here, like a different level of a lot of money. And when you see their life on a daily basis, it's something that if you're not from here, like you don't even realize that's real. And then when you get around it and it's tangible and you could touch it, and you're dealing with these people and talking to them on a regular basis, you're like, all right, this isn't like a fairy tale. Like this is real and people are really living like this and they're really out here.
Exactly. I feel like this video is not going to be able to relate to everybody because I feel like we're speaking to a certain type of person, somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur and go for that type of lifestyle. If you're not, then this video just isn't for you because I feel like not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants the multi-million-dollar mansion in Calabasas and to drive Ferraris and Porsches and have Rolexes and do all that type of a thing. So,
I don't even think it's necessarily about having a bunch of stuff or even being rich necessarily, but just the sense of like how you approach any type of goal that you have. Like it doesn't have to be rich. Like I hear people being like, I want to do this thing. Like I want to learn how to weld. And it's like, okay, go on the internet and find a place to teach you how to do that and then do that. But you'll find people finding reasons of why they can't do stuff. And then when you do something, they're like, man, that's so crazy that you did that. Like, I wish I could do that. And I'm like, why can't you? It's not that you can't do it. You're not doing it. I'm not any better than anybody. Angel's not any better than anybody. Like, we're regular people. We're not super geniuses. We just do stuff instead of talking about it. That's it. I've had people be like, man, you are so inspiring and you support people in pursuing what they want to pursue and you always like try to help them out, whatever. And I'm like, I don't really see it that way. I just see it as stating the obvious. Like, you want to do that thing? That's dope, man. Like, a lot of people out here can't even figure out what they want to do. So, like, if you know what you want to do and you're not doing it, like, nothing's stopping you but you. And you can come up with any reason you want, but at the end of the day, that's what separates people who have stuff and do what they want to do and people who talk about doing what they want to do. Like, you only got one life, so
live it.
Do what you want to do. Like, it's not that hard.
No,
and
yeah.
It's just helpful to get around people who do what you want to do to help you get there so you can do it too. And in the process of it, you're going to have to humble yourself and create that leverage. It changes your mentality to see people doing it and being around them. And hopefully, I think us doing this and like sticking to it and like following through on what we said that we were going to do, even with this little thing, it can inspire people to do that too. Because like no matter what, every week I do this. I've done it in hotel rooms, edited on planes, like whatever I had to do to get it done because I said I was going to do it. That's it.
Just following through. I mean, that's like the biggest thing, and not being afraid to fail. For me, that's the biggest thing that separates both Tony and I from anybody else that's trying to do this type of a thing. Is that both of us have had our failures. I have had a ton of failures. I've had multiple projects that I said I was going to do that never saw the light of day. I started a lot of things that still are pending. There's so many things that I have not followed through on, or clients I might have lost, or, things that didn't go my way. I messed up on this project and that project, but it never killed my motivation and never killed my enthusiasm. I still wake up every day with the thought of there being endless possibilities. That's literally what keeps me going.
And like being around other people who are doing stuff makes you want to do it too. Like even if you have those failures or you have a project that like you haven't followed through on, like there's things, same thing with me, that you'll be like, yo, what happened to that thing? And I'm like, man, I got to do that.
Yeah.
Or she'll be like, man, I got to do that. And I'll be like, let's do it right now.
Right.
Like that's literally how this show started, from us talking about doing it. And then one day I was just like, let's do it right now. And then we just kept doing it, and we motivate each other to just keep at it. And that goes for everything else. And if you're with somebody, if you're working with somebody who doesn't have that same energy, when you're down, they're not going to pick you up. So you have to have somebody that you know will balance it out. Because like some days I don't feel like it. Some days she don't feel like it. But there's always somebody else to pick up the other person.
And if there's not, then you need to change your circle.
You got to change your circle, change your environment. Like, if you're around a whole bunch of people that are not about nothing, like, you ain't about to be about nothing either. Like, that's just automatically how it works. Because where are you going to get inspiration from? Where are you going to get the help you need from? Because if you live out in the middle of the boondocks and you want to do something there's nobody there to help you do it. And if you want to do it on your own, maybe you can, but it's going to take you way longer. And those days where you just don't feel like it, there's not going to be anybody there to make you do anything. So it won't get done. So it's like, that's the value of being around people who are positive, to put it simply, but also people that like get it done.
And knowing people who came from nothing and manifested everything that they have now. You know, what's crazy to me is that Tony and I literally have friends who are millionaires, flat out. They're business owners, they drive fancy cars, they live in gated communities, and those are our friends. Like, we know them, we break bread with them, we hang out with them. And so knowing where they came from, what they did, and literally seeing it with our own two eyes is what helps us picture the goals that we may have. You know, the aspirations and dreams that I see, how I envision my life moving forward with the business, in my personal life, where I want to live, where I want to raise kids, all that stuff. I see it because I'm literally able to see it.
And how did you make those friends?
By creating leverage.
Wow.
Wow, I love how you connected that.
Full circle.
It is full circle.
And then these people it went from like being a potential client or a possibility.
Actually started part-time. I was only supposed to be part-time. Then I went in full force with a presentation on PowerPoint, and then they were like, here's a full-time job.
You know what I like to call that? Doing it with your whole ass.
Yes!
It's not half-ass. It's whole ass.
Whole ass. I was whole ass doing. Betting on yourself. Taking a chance on yourself. I didn't know what I was really doing when I was going in there and presenting. You know, I was just like, oh, I'm going to do this, but if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give it my all. And I gave it my all, and then, bam! Developed that relationship. Through that relationship, made more relationships, and then it's what happened.
And then we're going to Vegas with a bunch of Ferraris.
Well, with not just Ferraris, there's going to be some Porsches, a McLaren. It's going to be...
For the second time. Second trip.
2 times. Think about that. Not you think about that. I think about this all the time. How did I get here? How did this happen? One of the first... And I think everything moves in tiers. We mentioned this in another episode, I believe. But I remember specifically with Tony, when I shared a moment with Tony in Austin, on top of the mansion, and I literally was just looking at the skyline, and I was like, oh, how did I get here? This is so awesome that this is the life that I manifested at that time.
And there's like a lot of moments that I think I've had in my life where I've thought that. And it's like, the only reason that we were in these places is because we put like ourselves there through some way that otherwise wouldn't have happened if we were just working at an office somewhere. And so it was like that betting on yourself thing, taking that risk, stepping out there and doing what we wanted to do instead of what was safe to do has provided us with like a lot of dope experiences and a lot of opportunities that we wouldn't have had if we would have went a safe route and got a job somewhere and just worked there and we're safe about it. But also, like, I don't have a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't own property or, like, really have some huge 401k yet. But it was the betting on myself that I did. And I do see that in my future. I just don't have it right now. But, yeah, it's scary to think about it if you have that mindset, like, if I don't do this, how's it going to get done? Like, I'm going to make it happen. That's how it's going to get done. So it's like, nobody's worth betting on as much as you, because nobody's going to have your back like you're going to have your back.
You are your greatest investment in life.
God, you're so wise. Like, I always be trying to say stuff, and then you just say it so wisely. And when it comes to, like, investing, a lot of the times when you're looking for an investor, you look for people that have a lot of money to invest. It's the same thing when you're trying to invest in yourself. Like, get around those people, and you're a salesman. Like, you're a product. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, you're the product. So you have to be able to sell yourself. You have to be able to network. And sometimes the best way to sell something is free samples. if you believe in what you're doing, it's just a free sample. Like, and you know you're gonna get paid down the line. I'm to a point now where I'll still do stuff for free for somebody new because I'm confident in what I do and I have like credibility to back it up.
We literally do that to infiltrate other verticals that don't know us. We literally just did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, again, betting on yourself. And a lot of people, again, that think small will think this person's taking advantage of me because they're getting me to do this thing for free. But it's like, not really, dude. Because if they never talk to you again, it's because you messed up somewhere. You shouldn't be picturing it like that because you probably went into it with that attitude of feeling like you were getting taken advantage of. I'm putting my best foot forward in everything that I know how to do. So if you still don't like what I did, there's nothing I can say really that it's my fault. Like if I know I did the absolute best I could, whether it was for $0 or $1 million, like you're getting the same product from me because I represent me. Like my brand is me. So I'm not going to like half-ass it. I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have to work with every time, regardless of what it's paying or if it's not paying at all.
I have so many examples of that, of giving out samples and it working, but I'll talk about one specifically. I worked a PA job about 7 years ago for the Emmys. Went into it with just so much excitement, so much enthusiasm, made sure I did a great job, and the Television Academy has definitely been one of my longest running work relationships out in LA. And it all sprung from taking that PA gig that I didn't get paid for. I wanted to get my foot in there, create leverage for myself, know the people that were there, create relationships. That is something, and I'll just briefly touch on this. Every gig, every client, my entire network has been built on relationships. I have not gotten anything off of cold calls, cold emails. Everything, this entire network that I've been able to build has been all relationship based. So to me, building relationships, maintaining them, having people in different verticals, different industries is the most important asset.
Any situation that you put a certain person in, if they're made for it, they're gonna figure out a way to get more out of it than the average person or whatever. And what I mean by that is, if you put me in a job, one, I don't want to work in a job. So if I'm in a job, my main focus is how can I flip this into a client relationship, like a business deal or whatever. So I'll work there and be the best at it. And I'm still not thinking at an employee level where, man, if I do this job really good, maybe I'll get a raise or maybe I'll get a promotion. I'm thinking, who can I talk to here who I can work with instead of work for? Like, how can I build this into a working relationship where we're on a even plane, not where I'm like just working for somebody until I die or, quit or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think any place you put me in, I'm going to figure out a way to do that. And so some places want somebody that'll just do the job and that's it. And that's not going to be a place for me. I'll do it until I get enough money saved up or whatever and dip. But I don't look at corporate structure the same way somebody who's trying to work their way up the corporate ladder sees it.
Literally why we're best of friends and work together all the time. Because from the very beginning, even at my last job that I did have, when I sat down with the boss there, I was very honest and I was very frank. I said, my ultimate goal is to work for myself. And that hasn't switched. That's never changed since I decided I wanted to go into entertainment and doing this type of a thing. Never changed. I've never switched up on that.
When you have that mentality and that approach to stuff, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the ones that work are the ones that you kind of focus your energy on. And those are the ones that you water and then they grow into the bigger plant. And that's how you have a network like Angel has. And so you just fulfill that prophecy. The more you focus on that and put it it's not easy by any means, but like it's addictive. So once you do that, once you operate in that way, like it's really hard to go back because you don't see the world like that anymore.
Totally. And I just want to say that I'm super grateful to have Tony by my side, to be honest, because this business stuff by yourself, like, it is lonely. Like, it is so lonely to build this stuff up. So I feel really fortunate to have him be there right there with me, building as well.
My heart.
Because I would be super lonely without him, to be honest. I always say surround yourself with like-minded people because success is a group activity, and I mean that.
I don't really know what to tell you. If you want to be down, holler at us, but know that we're going to expect the same energy that we have. We're also looking to branch out the channel and offer other people segments that we can put on the channel.
Yeah, people have been hitting us up saying that they do want to be a part of it somehow. So this is an idea that Tony had thought of. But if you are interested in being a part of it, and if you have any ideas, shoot us a message, send us a DM. We'd love to hear about it because we definitely want to expand it.
Yeah, and give everybody a platform to express themselves too. All right.
Okay, bye.